Alright guys, what's going on? Today we are out here, it is fall, and we're doing some walleye fishing. We wanted to take a quick second out of the day to kind of film a little informational piece here on one of the most helpful tools that I have in the boat all summer, all open water season long, and especially all ice season long when it's tougher to cover water. So, and that is AutoChart Live. AutoChart Live is a Humminbird feature that basically lets you create your own map. So there's a hump out here which comes out of deep water, and it's all these waypoints you can see that I'm about to drive into here on the GPS. That's where the hump is. Now ideally I'd like to have it auto charted so I can kind of see if there's any little fingers of it, or just overall how it's laid out, you know, especially come ice, and it's just a lot harder to move around. It makes it super easy to check different depths when you know exactly, obviously, how deep everything is. And we have a hump here that's totally unmapped. So what you need is a Humminbird, it's a Humminbird product. It's called a Zero Lines card for these Humminbird Helixes or your Solix. They have a little bit of built-in AutoChart memory, but if you're gonna be doing a whole bunch of this, and you're probably gonna be wanting to do a whole bunch of this, you're gonna want that Zero Lines card. And that's just a little SD card, you pop it in, and you have more space than you'll ever need inside that card to fill. So basically what you do, you come over here, you hit menu, and you're gonna go to this Humminbird icon here. You're gonna go down to AutoChart, and you're going to select, scroll over to the right, and you just start recording. So all of a sudden we're gonna start recording here, and you can see we're starting to get depth lines already. Now, if I'm not moving at all, this is just gonna read the same depth and it's gonna start plotting it around me. This does not run off a side imaging feature. This just runs off a sonar feature as far as I know. So you can see it's starting to plot here. And this hump's not super big. And basically you're not gonna wanna go super fast, because the faster you go with your boat, it's gonna miss small details, small rises. So a lot of times I just like to cruise, 2-3 miles an hour when I'm mapping a spot like this. And you can already see it's gonna start filling that map in real nice for us. We're coming up here, right on the top of it. And like I said, I'll use this a ton, all open water, especially for humps like this that are totally unmapped, or especially in ice season when it just gets a lot harder to move around. It's an extremely useful feature. So you can see we're coming up here, it's 27, 25, and it'll just keep creating this map as we drive around. Now, a few tips for doing this. Number one, like I said, you're gonna wanna kind of go your scanning speed. Number two, make sure you turn it off if your sonar has a tendency to blip out when you start going full speed, because then it'll start mapping either 0 feet everywhere or 1,000 feet, or whatever number your graph reads after you're coming down off the plane or when you're up on plane. So here we go, we're kind of coming off the other side of this now. So I'm not really super interested in mapping 40 plus feet of water, but I do want to have the whole 20 foot to kind of 30 foot zone mapped out on top of this hump. So and then what you do next is you kind of keep crisscrossing over the top of it here. So I'm coming back around the top, and I'm just going to kind of drive a little bit different line here. And you can see it filling in real nice. This feature's been out for a couple years. We've been using it a ton. It's super helpful if you have a lake that's not mapped that good, or maybe you have a lake that's not mapped at all, or if you're on a bigger lake that does have good mapping like this, that just has a tendency to miss a few spots. The Lake Master chips are great. They're definitely the best one for fishing kind of northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota. But there's always some stuff like this that you can improve on. So now I'm coming back out here a little bit deeper, and I'll kind of change my depth highlights so you guys can see the top of this a little bit better. So now green's kind of the top of the hump. Coming back into it. And another good tip when you're doing this is you want to crisscross. So if I made a couple lines going this way, the next thing I want to do is make a couple of lines across it going that way, like I'm about to do here. And the more you drive over this, the more detailed your map's going to get. So if you have a big spot, it takes a little bit of time to kind of make your map good. But a lot of times what I'll do is, like if I get on a spot I want to map, and I'm gonna fish that spot, I'll just leave it on, and as I drift around or troll around or move around, it's gonna kind of naturally create that map for me. And you can see it's a little bit kind of flatter down on this side. This is kind of like a shoreline point. And this, obviously I'll pull the chip out at the end, but there is no visual mapped hump here prior to auto charting like this. So I'm coming back out to the deep water. You guys can see how this is extremely useful. I'll do it pretty much all over the lake and anywhere I have interest in fishing, because a lot of times all you'll start seeing is spots that get connected you know, deep saddles or deep troughs that run through spots where, like, you know, you always remember driving over that spot and you're like, yeah, it's 20 feet over there, but you never really knew that, you know, maybe 2 10-foot humps were connected or stuff like that. So extremely useful tool. And you can see here in a very short amount of time how I've created a map. You know, that'll make it super easy to basically come back onto this spot, know exactly where I'm punching holes, or exactly, you know, if I'm casting over there, I know exactly how deep it is. Extremely useful tool. So, you know, if you guys are running Humminbirds and have not used this feature before, or you're looking to get into a graph, you know, it's a phenomenal product. Like I said, we use it a ton, and you can see here, I mean, this is just as cool as it gets. So you can come out here, create your own map. Yeah, just extremely useful. So thanks for watching, guys. Just a short little tip here on basically how you guys can get more out of your Humminbird units. If you're looking to get into a depth finder, one of these more high-end depth finders, absolutely check out the Humminbird Helix line. I have absolutely zero complaints with them. Extremely user-friendly, and just a ton of great features like this right here.